In Southern California, various workers over billionaires' protests took place throughout Riverside County and Orange County. Thankfully, the Precinct Reporter had exclusive time with Amy from Indivisible 40 organization at the Tesla dealership in Aliso Viejo to discuss the oligarchy on how billionaires hold power in the work industry, while everyday workers carry the burden in society. Hey, well, welcome ladies and gentlemen, and happy Saturday to you. My name is Daniel Carter, and I'm with Amy from Indivisible 40 organization. And Miss Amy, can you please tell us about yourself and what's going on with this whole event?
Sure, happy to, Daniel. I'm with Indivisible California 40. We are the Indivisible group that covers the California's 40th congressional district. Currently, our elected public servant, who doesn't really serve the people, is named Young Kim. And the goal of Indivisible is we're a progressive organization, but we're nonpartisan. And our goal is to hold electeds accountable to their constituents, to work for a fair democracy that actually works for all people, and to support our local community, especially in these hard times where the fascist government takeover that Trump and his MAGA supporters are enacting right now is really impacting our local communities. So we're seeing citizens, legal residents, even being kidnapped by ICE, disappeared, don't know where they're going. Their families are left behind, wondering what's happening. Many people are afraid to go to the grocery store, go to their health care appointments, go to work. So we have programs where we're helping people who are impacted by the ICE raids. We distribute red cards. So red cards are Know Your Rights cards. They have everyone's constitutional rights on them. Anyone on American soil, no matter their immigration status, has certain rights that ICE is not respecting. So we try to let people know what they can do if they see ICE, how to report it to our local rapid response network, the Orange County Rapid Response Network. There's ICE Watch that people can get involved with. So there's a lot of things that we're engaged with. One of our battle cries is Unseat Young Kim, because again, she has not represented her constituents. She voted for the big bad budget bill, which cuts Medicaid to her constituents, for instance. 21% of our district depends on Medicaid for their health care. Over half of the children in our district qualify for free and reduced school meals, and she cut funding for that. So half of the children in our district are going to go hungry because of Young Kim's vote. There's so many other things. I'm sure many of your readers are probably already very familiar with how awful the budget is and the negative impacts it's going to have on everyone, right? Anyone making under $700,000 a year will be negatively impacted by this budget. So even small business owners like myself, we're facing things that it's really bad for us. Small businesses are going to have trouble having their workers come to work. They're going to have trouble with people who can't afford things anymore and move out. People who can't afford to buy their products and services, right? So although they've tried to pitch the budget as being a tax cut, it's really a tax cut for the wealthiest Americans. The small amount of tax cuts that they have given to other people are, in many cases, temporary. The no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, that expires after a couple of years, right? The child tax credit that they're touting, it's only an extra $200, which is like one nice meal out for a family of four, right? And that's for the whole year, and that's temporary too. So the budget is obviously something that's very heavy on our minds right now.
Yes.
And then of course you've probably heard about Proposition 50. So Proposition 50 is going to be a special election in November 4th. That proposition is going on the ballot. It was approved over the last couple weeks by our state legislature. And what the proposition does is it allows us to redistrict our state according to our principles of redistricting so that we can fight back against the gerrymandering that's happening in Texas and might be happening in other Republican states throughout the country. Trump has asked Republican governors in so-called red states to find him more votes for the 2026 midterm election. That's where we will vote on all the representatives that are in the House of Representatives in Congress. Every representative is up every 2 years. And so all of them are up for re-election. And Trump's policies are incredibly unpopular right now. Even Republicans, everyone to the left of MAGA, does not support the budget, for instance. Does not support ICE kidnappings in our neighborhoods. Does not support these crazy tariffs that he's imposing that he says other countries are we all know, tariffs are taxes on Americans. The American businesses are the ones who have to pay the tariffs, and they are not going to be able to absorb these tariffs that are like 200, 300% in some cases. They have to pass that cost along to the consumer. So tariffs hurt Americans. They don't hurt other countries. Because of the things he's doing, postal services in other countries have stopped shipping items to the United States at all. It's just insanity, right? And he knows it, and his supporters know it, and his cabinet knows it. They know these things are unpopular. They know they're going to lose in 2026 unless they cheat. And so they are trying to redistrict in these other states. So as Californians, we've said we're not going to accept that. We're going to protect California and protect the nation by voting yes on Proposition 50, which I want to say, first of all, is legal. So there are some mailers that have gone out with misinformation this week from opposition to the proposition, and they say, for instance, that it's illegal. That's not true. Every citizen in California will be able to vote on whether they agree with these new maps. So it is a legal process that we are following to temporarily change the Constitution just until the next census in 2030. Every census, every 10 years, everyone gets redistricted because populations change. People migrate, people die, people are born. And so every 10 years, the entire United States goes through a redistricting process where they balance where people live and how representation happens through the House of Representatives.
In regards to Orange County,
Yes.
I wanted to ask, has businesses out here, yourself, have you guys witnessed a financial hit due to the ICE raids that's been occurring throughout Orange County? Has business dropped drastically, or has people not shown up to work in fear of being detained by ICE at all?
So I can say I don't have any data on this, but I have a lot of anecdotal evidence from people throughout Orange County, not just in our group. By the way, something I didn't mention is that in addition to being one of the organizers for Indivisible California 40, I also spearhead what's called the OC Indivisible Coalition, which is made up of all the indivisible groups throughout our county. So I hear from people throughout the county, not just in my own district. And we're hearing a lot, especially from businesses that are owned in areas where there are like higher populations of people that might be targeted by ICE. But yes, their business has dropped off precipitously. They are struggling. For instance, I know a man who owns a construction company. All of his workers are legal to work. Many of them are Hispanic and Latino, and many of them have said, I'm afraid to come to work, and are not showing up on the job site right now because of this, right? So yes, it has definitely impacted business owners in Orange County, and especially in Young Kim's district, where, you know, she runs on small business. She always talks about how much she supports small business. This does not support small business. It is a terrible thing. In addition to just being ethically and morally horrific, right? The places that they take these people, the detention centers, we hear reports back. There was a man named Narciso who was arrested in Tustin, and he's a landscaper. He was doing his landscaping job. He was thrown to the ground, tackled, had an injury, was taken to Adelanto, which is our local federal ICE detention center here in Southern California. He wasn't given a change of clothes. He wasn't allowed to shower. He did not get fed for a long time. He didn't have a bed to sleep in. I mean, it was insane. He fortunately had a really great immigration attorney who helped him get released. He is a man who has 3 sons who have all served in the U.S. military. They are Marines. 2 of them are still on active duty. One's a veteran. So this is a man who contributes through his taxes, who contributes through his offspring, who contributes through his work, and he was just indiscriminately kidnapped off the street. It was horrible. So yeah, this is definitely impacting residents in Orange County, business owners in Orange County, and of course, just regular people like me who see this happening to our neighbors and find it just reprehensible.
I don't know if you've heard about the knowledge that's been going on in Orange, California. There has been imposters, and they've been doing a sort of a lot of vigilante work. Has that been the case in Aliso Viejo?
Oh, you know, that's a really good question. So in Aliso Viejo, we have experienced ICE raids.
Yes.
There was a car wash that was hit here. ICE often hits car washes. Yeah, so I don't know about imposters specifically in Aliso Viejo, but I do know that's happening throughout the county. You know, people are dressing up because ICE right now is wearing plain clothes and masks, and they're not identifying themselves, and they don't have police vests on, and they don't wear their badge numbers, which is illegal, right? And they will not identify themselves. If you ask, what agency are you with? They will not answer you. That is not legal, right? So other people now who, for reasons that I find incomprehensible, I cannot imagine how any human could think it would be fun to do the things that ICE is doing to these residents of California. I don't understand that, so it's really hard for me to identify, but some people apparently think that's an exciting thing to do, and yeah, they're dressing up and attacking people, and they're not even part of a federal agency, and we don't know what happens when those people go into those unmarked vans. It's horrifying.
Yes, it's very horrifying. And you know, also throughout Riverside County, such as Paris, California, I have someone close that I work with for the school district in Lake Elsinore, and they've told me how ICE raids would happen approximately at 4 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, just going to people's homes and just knocking down doors and stuff like that.
Yeah, and we've seen, obviously, we've seen the video from like Los Angeles, where a woman who is a citizen was at home with her 2 babies when some federal agency, we're not sure which one it was yet, came in their camouflage, put plastic explosives around her door, blew the door off of her home, broke windows, and she's a citizen at home with her 2 citizen children who were terrified, right?
Yes.
They just like had the wrong house. They thought someone lived there who didn't live there, right? Absolutely. So yeah, those things are happening. In Orange County, I'm very tied in with the OC Rapid Response Network. Like I said, they do a lot of ICE Watch. They do participatory defense for people who are affected by immigration cases. They go to the immigration court in Santa Ana to help warn people. One of the tactics that ICE has been using is people who come the right way, which is what we all hear about, right? They get immigration appointments. They have to go to immigration court. So if they're here on asylum, which means life is so dangerous in their home country that they've had to leave their family, their friends, the home that they've known forever, and come to a brand new country where they do not feel welcome, those people get immigration appointments.
I know, as you know, and the whole country knows, Elon Musk and Donald Trump, they're feuding with each other.
Yes.
So my question to you, the Indivisible 40 organization, what is the purpose of the protests going on against Elon Musk still, if you don't mind asking?
Oh, yeah, of course. So this protest here in Aliso Viejo, we've been going for months here.
Okay.
And it started out, Casey is our lead organizer, and I think I saw her walk back across the street. She had the bubbles and went by with the music.
Yes.
So she is the lead organizer. She started this protest months ago as part of the Tesla takedown effort, right? And so the Tesla dealership is right over there. And we used to meet 1 block up at the entrance to the Tesla dealership.
Yes.
So we were there for months, protesting Tesla, protesting Elon Musk, and of course eventually protesting Doge. And so what's happened now is like, we're not taking our eyes off of that. Obviously Tesla takedown was incredibly successful.
Yes.
Tesla stock has tanked. As you said, there's a feud between Elon Musk and Donald Trump now. We don't see much from Elon anymore. But that Doge organization that he spearheaded has done tremendous damage in our country.
Yes.
For instance, we just saw that it turns out one of the teenagers they hired had stored Social Security data on an insecure cloud server where it was hacked, and that data is now out there in the world. This is the most personal, most private, most comprehensive data on every American, and it's out there, and it's because of Doge, it's because of Elon Musk. So yeah, even though he's not so actively participating anymore, we're definitely not excited about him. And honestly, he represents, along with Donald Trump and their other crony billionaires friends, what we call the oligarchy in America. So this might be a term you've heard from like Bernie Sanders or AOC. They are doing a big tour to fight the oligarchy. And it's this idea that like, one of the biggest problems we have in the United States, and one of the reasons that fascism is happening, is because of this incredible wealth disparity that we have.
Yes. So
over the last few decades, the wealth disparity between the poorest Americans and the richest Americans has widened exponentially. The top 1%, the top 1/10 of 1%, these billionaires in the United States, it's hard to imagine how much more a billion is than $1 million, right? But it's 1,000 times more. So like a couple $100,000, even $1 million is just a rounding error to them. But they are not being taxed fairly. They are not being taxed at the rates that other Americans are being taxed at.
Yes.
One of the things that the budget bill does is it's the largest transfer of wealth in American history. It takes money from the lowest earning citizens in the United States.
The disenfranchised communities.
It did disenfranchise communities. And these low income earners, they lost services, they lost tax breaks, and then they gave these tax breaks to the wealthiest billionaires in the country, right? Things like Citizens United, where corporations can donate excessive amounts of money to political campaigns and influence our system. These are the things that are happening. And so, yes, I mean, it's hard to say like you're anti-billionaire because that sounds like you're against someone who's worked hard. But the reality is most billionaires have not worked hard to earn that wealth. What they have done is underpay their employees and take ridiculous profit margins for themselves. They have passed laws that keep the minimum wage down. The minimum wage hasn't changed in decades, right? People who earn tips, their minimum wage, I believe, hasn't changed since like, I think it's the 70s or 80s.
Yes.
It's insane. And the amount of inflation we're seeing right now is huge. So even someone making what seems like a good salary is not able to afford their life in Orange County.